YouTube. Perfect. All right, we're up and running. So, it's kind of been choppy, right? I was talking about an incoming correction on indices and stocks a couple weeks ago, and we saw that develop. We saw that unfold. We did see a big drop. We caught a couple of the turns, and then just now we're seeing a big squeeze up, right? Big squeeze up on futures overnight after like an 8.49% correction. Where does that leave us, right? So you got some QQQ calls that I called out on just like 2 days ago on the 5th, I believe, for 364. We're at 364 today on QQQ. Before I go any further, I'm going to cover QQQ, I'm going to cover the S&P, I'm going to cover BTC, and then we'll take some tickers, we'll look at some altcoins. Good morning, Paris. And then we'll look at some altcoins, right? And whatever tickers you guys want to take a look at. So the QQQ, right? We're possibly at that 61.8 bearish retracement, right? That's what we've been shorting. That's what we shorted here with a 78.6, right? For this drop. And then we longed here, shorted for this drop, closed shorts the other day, took out calls and kind of had a bull trap, bear trap yesterday before the squeeze up. I'm looking for at least friction with 364.77, right? We don't quite have like a linear, trend line resistance just yet on the QQQ, but the S&P we do, so I'm going to have to keep an eye out on it for the rest of the day. On the S&P, it looks like it's pushing, right? It looks like it's pushing, and that's good, right? That's good. Objectively, like big picture, what I was talking about, possibly a repeat of 2018. And if we were to see a repeat of 2018, then we're likely headed for some bigger swings, right? So the calls that we have on the SPXL, the S&P Extra Long, or the UPRO, right? These guys should still be headed up. They should still be headed up. We're looking for possibly 443 resistance. And we got that long-term fib. I'm put on the... this would be a longer term fib extension at 442. Most likely we'll see a 443 unfold before we take out any shorts. Luckily, right, our UPROs are 120 calls, so that should be in the money. 121, right? Also have some 118s, and the SPXL should also be in the money. It's the same thing, right? And yeah, now we're just gonna, for today, I think we have to keep an eye out on that linear trend line resistance on the S&P, which is, we're basically at it, right? We have to see a push above, possibly to 443, and that's where I'd want to take profit on some longs, at least like half of the longs, half of the calls, and then we'll see how it unfolds from there. All right. That covers the QQQ and the S&P. Before I move out of those, actually, let's use the Harmonic Scanner and see if we see anything. Very wordy. It's a mouthful. The Harmonics gave us a top on Google, Netflix. Not quite Netflix for sure, right? But because it kept going up, but it did reject down pretty hard. But it did give us a top, and that's why I started filling those shorts, because it was basically the repeat of September of last year, right? We see how to blow off, and yeah. So yeah, we're gonna see. We should see some more up movement. I don't see anything like imminent that's gonna reject down right here on the S&P, QQQ. There's a deep 61.8 that puts us at 368. Our calls are 364, right? So that goes in line with, it kind of goes in line with this 61.8, but we should still be in the money, and it does touch up on that trend line. So we'll get to that. I'm gonna put an alert here, and just to alert us in Discord, that way we can now you can take a look at it, possibly buy some puts. Good morning, Aaron. The guys on Facebook chat have been super quiet today. All right, BTC, right? This is where it gets sketchy. Actually, I've got a chart over here. This one. And I mean, I'm still thinking this is a bull trap, right? Because if the market's doing what it did in 2018, I think it's a bull trap. I mean, I had people messaging me on Instagram yesterday saying, hey, I'm going to buy the breakout at 52,000. I'm going to long it on 100x. And I'm like, man, like, I'm looking to short it. Anyway, so this move reminds me of this move, right? Where we had a push above the 61.8 and then a bullish, what looks like bullish rejection, but it's also a doji, right? Let's zoom in on this a little more. Right, we had a swing high, and then we had another high, right? And a swing low, a 61.8 rejected, and then we had a push above for what was the bull trap, right? In hindsight, this was the bull trap before the extended leg down. Now, you know, things don't look exactly like they did back then, right? But they kind of do in terms of like extensions and what markets did, because we had a blow off in response to COVID and the printing, right? We saw the inflation price hikes for everything. And I think markets are just going to like reprice themselves, right? And I think it's going to be a big lengthy process now, because we have so many more players in BTC than we did back then, right? It's going to be a lot more choppy. It's going to be a lot less like direct, harder to interact with right now. I didn't have BTC longs for this move, but we did have ETH longs for this move, and I'll touch up on those shortly. So we did capitalize on that run up, like at least like a 18-20% unleveraged move. So if you had leverage to that, that's heaps. Yeah, so what's gonna cause me to like maintain short here, right? What would cause a top at like 55.89? I think there was a 1.618 extension off this drop. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Let's see what happens, right? If we see a retest of 51,480, right, or 51, right around this zone, the major 61.8. If we see a retest of that red line, and it passes, right, and it's not a doji like it was last time, that's good, right? And then I can say, you know what, I was wrong. This wasn't a bull trap. And we're going up, going to the moon. But yeah, do you want to see that retest of 51,376? 76, yeah. Stanley, we'll look at ETH right, like just coming up around the corner. Let me check harmonics on BTC, and then we'll take a look at ETH. I just want to be thorough today. We do have a weekend coming up. I'm streaming like once a week, so. Also, for you guys in premium, I opened up the Indices channel for you guys like 2 days ago. That way you can catch every move on Indices. You used to not be able to read it, and now you can. 240. Oh, I see. I think that's a Gartley. Yeah. Right, so I mean, I called this stream "Welcome to the Chop" because I don't think it's gonna be a straight up move. I think this is just a bull trap. It's gonna be choppy. It's gonna be a lot like 2018 was, right? And before we look at ETH, so that makes a lot of sense for you guys that are using the XABCD scanner. Or you guys that are subscribed to the XABCD scanner are not using it. This would be a good time to start using it, right? This is BTC USD on the 4 hour. Whoa, why is it still stuck? So this is BTC USD on the 4 hour, and we're seeing a 0.080. I believe that's a Gartley. The stop's up here, but the PRZ is a reversal zone we're up and at. So target 1 on this short would be 47. Target 2 would be 42. All right. Jeez, man, I don't know what else. I'm responding to Paris. They're gonna fire him because of the vaccine. Anybody else having vaccine troubles at work? The ETH 4 hour doesn't look quite the same. Not on Harmonic, so I only have the 32 open. We did see a bearish shark or a 5.0 that rejected down. Now it's saying the 0.080 is up here. Let me do a couple of more time frames. I tried a head short on Ether, right, and it didn't quite work out. I'm not seeing anything on Harmo. I like to do that last, right? I like to do that last just to validate or invalidate anything else that I see. So the thing with ETH is that it's above that 61.8, right? And we know it's going to ETH 2.0. I'd hate to be like more bullish on ETH and bearish on BTC, but I think we're entering that type of market cycle again, right? Because like DeFi is still going up. You look at like Luna, it's still bumping. Where are we in terms of this correction, right? In terms of this swing high up here to this swing low. We're right above that 61.8. So if we get a close below that 35.06, right, then ETH should be in trouble, theoretically. So keep an eye on that, right? Keep an eye. 35.06. Now ETH, we did take out a long before the pump, right, when it was consolidating in this range. So it should be up like conservative 18%. So if you're on 100x, it's a lot of percent, man. Even on 20x, it's a lot of percent. Man, I did post no unemployment. Man, that sucks. Stanley, if you look at the ETH channel, I'll put out some long targets for the breakout. So presuming we get ETH to stay above 35.06, above 33.56, right? 35.33, if these remain as support, and we could possibly see like 5100 and then 5500 respectively. Obviously 5100 would come before. All right. All right. What you guys want me to cover any altcoins? I was looking at some of the stocks mentioned in chat. I mean, there are some healthy dips that could be capitalized on. So like Vail, might buy some calls on this one. It's pretty cheap, right? Because we are at that downwards extension. It did pull back. The trend was looking reversal-ish, right? It was looking like a breakout. Let's see what kind of retracement we have here. I think it could go to 12. Gats, this one's for you. In Discord, 1288. I'm gonna put an alert here. Possibly buy some calls on the dip. Buy low, sell high. Right, that's what they say. Let's look at Zeke. I'm gonna do USD pairs. Something like Binance. Man. It looks rough. It looks like it wants to reverse and start going up. I don't know what's going to move something like Zeke right now. I mean, shit like Shiba's bumping, right? So I really think we should see some exit pops. I'm not a fan of this chart. It's not really doing anything. It's not. I'd hate to look at something that I am a fan of, right? So like Raven, let's see what this one's doing. It just seems a lot more impulsive than Zeke, right? Because we did have that big up move, and then we had a 61.8, right? We got the halving coming up in January, right? So I do think this should head back up to like the 0.19. Don't quote me on that. 20 cents. All right, guys. Show me some more tickers, please. stocks, whatever. Let's look at like Apple. You got some time. You got like 20 minutes to burn before the market opens. Remove drawings. Alright, so Apple, I did want to buy some calls, but I didn't buy the calls. I just went with QQQ instead. But it really held up, right? It really held up. It really held up. 139, 141 held up well. And now I think the next pivot on Apple, it's probably too late to buy Apple calls today because it's shot up heaps. It's done a bullish engulf. PM is going to be up, but like maybe we'd want to short 149, 150, right? That would be a level I'm interested in. So I'm just going to set an alert. That's the thing. You know, I do think the market's corrective. So the best thing to do is to be like proactive, right? Wait for the targets to hit on where something should retrace to, and when it does that, that's when you want to interact with it, right? I don't want to like buy calls after a big up move, right, on stocks. I don't want to do that. Paris wants BCH USD, dude. That's a scam coin, man. Stay away. Bcash. Tesla. All right, we'll check that out. Amliland. Thank you for the love from Australia. I should be doing a little interview for you guys this week. I think I haven't gotten confirmation. I haven't been tagged in anything. I haven't been checking my notifications anyway. Even if I did, I wouldn't know. I think Bcash. I mean, if you get a 679 move, it's probably terminal. I don't know. I stay away from Bcash. I don't trust BCH. I don't trust BSV. I don't trust Craig. I don't trust the other guy. I think they're all scammers. That looks interesting. Where it was flagging, did a bull trap, bear trap. It actually might run here, man. It looks like BCH might run. And surely if we are gonna see some chop, right, in crypto and like uncertainty in BTC, then we're probably gonna see some shit moves happen. That's what just the nature of crypto. And by shit moves, I mean scam coins trying to take the title away from BTC, right? And trying to do that, right? So we could. I wouldn't bet on it though. All right, let's look at Tesla. Tesla's looking really interesting, right? I haven't traded it in some time. I go in phases when I trade Tesla. If I see something and it's priced well, I'll trade it. But if it's not priced well, then I will not trade it. And usually at the top, it looks like a top of a run. And the problem is now is Tesla is like part of the QQQ and the S&P, right? So you get the S&P inclusion. So it's going to affect both indices, and both indices are going to affect it. And they have BTC on their balance sheet, so they're affected by BTC too. I used to like the markets not being so intertwined, but now they are. It really changed the dynamic of everything. So now we're seeing that move right to above 763, which is my 61.8, which is ideally where I would want to short, is at that level, right? So assuming Tesla gets a break above, then we might see a rager up to 1002, assuming, right? But if we don't get that break above, then this is potentially, I hate calling these a bear flag, because generally speaking, your flag shouldn't be longer than your pole, right? But I don't know if it's wedging or what. It could be a little bit of a bull trap above the 61.8. We saw like a daily one happen here. I'd keep an eye out. I wouldn't be adding risk at this point, I don't think. Not not here in the move, right? Now I have treated some things like AMD above a 61.8. I don't know why I have a different bias towards Tesla. Maybe it's like a internal bias of mine. Let's remove drawings. Let's throw up the Harmonic Scanner. Yeah, so you're seeing a 3D develop. That would be a bearish 3 drive or a wolf wave. That could potentially cause things to go down, right? I'm expecting a lot of chop, right? I'm expecting a lot of chop in markets for the next months, right? So things go up, things go down. Let's do a 240. The 4 hours got some bearish formations. The daily has got some bearish formations. It seems tricky. What happened here? Let's examine what happened on Tesla previously. And when was this, right? So up here, it was October 2020, right? That looks like some kind of 61.8. It ran up to 786. Right, before pulling back, rejecting again. So we had 61.8 friction above and came back down. So yeah, just because we're up here, it doesn't mean that we're going to shoot straight up. NVIDIA, AMD, good tickers. I like those, right? So if we look at this move and think price in respect to the red line, right? And we look at price in respect to the red line. All right. Let's look at AMD and NVIDIA. We'll look at the weekly chart on this. So this looks like a bullish retracement off this low. And it looks like it held at a 61.8. And I was just eyeballing it, and it looks exactly like what I just said. Our 61.8 is going to be that red line, right? 197. Now, we're going to look for like 2 resistances if we're going to chop. Right? The next resistance is going to be 213 or 214, right? And the following one would be 216. So if we can clear like the 214 to 216 zone on NVDA, then I think it continue up. But those would be the 2 areas to pay attention to, especially that 216, right? Looking at the QQQ and the S&P. I mean, that might be where one wants to like take some profit or probably take out some puts. AMD. So we did play AMD off like 89, right? Because we had that flag develop, that retest, and then that breakout. I think I sold out of this one early, but some guys like Desmo and a few guys in Discord like wrote it out until the wheels fell off, and it did freaking amazing. And I do believe it's still playing the same extension, right? Now, I think like 107, 111 are two critical levels you want to see. Unless we get rejection here. What's going on up here? It's practically above. Title of the stream was actually it's below. Title of the stream was welcome to the chop, right? AMD's above that 100 mark, which is good. Right, it needs to clear 105, head up to 107, 111. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna see like big extensions like we saw earlier, right? Like earlier this year, earlier post-COVID, right? Where was COVID? It was like right here, March 2020. I don't know if we're gonna see those big old extensions. All right, guys. Anybody else got anything else for me? How's BTC looking? It's consolidating. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning into the stream. Make sure to smash that like button, please. Click that subscribe, hit that bell, hop into Discord, right? Like, I'm trying to stream at least once a week, and you're gonna get that notification first in Discord. In the announcement channel, that's a free channel. Just hop into Discord. We don't tag anybody all the time. We just tag everyone before streams and reported announcements. And yeah, I think next week we're gonna bring back Money Mondays, and what that does is it opens up the general chat for the stock market for everybody. So make sure you're in there because we're bringing back those Money Mondays. And yeah, okay, we got a UPST ticker. Before I hop off, Upstart. Oh man, that's a good one, but it's already pumped so hard. All right, let's check this out. It's above 310. Man, I don't even want to touch this chart. This one intimidates me. I think it's got a little room to go, right? 321. 321, 332, right? Before I hop off, I wanna like look at a scenario because we're being asked a lot about tech tickers, and one thing you want to keep in mind is if you look at that 2018 parallel, right? So I'm gonna do QQQ here, QQQ there, just so we're looking at the same thing. Removed indicators, right? And I want to show you guys a couple of parallels, and one of them just played out beautifully. And I'm gonna destroy this chart, remove drawings. So one thing we saw in early 2018 when the market was really corrective, right, was like the initial correction, right? The initial correction was a 12% down move, right? And when I say initial, that's because this is our 2018 year to year, right? This is where it started. And this is where it ended, right? So all in all, the market had a good run up, but at the end of the year, it closed lower than it did open, right? So the initial correction was like a pretty deep 12% before reclaiming, right? Before reclaiming all that drop, only to drop back again, right? So, and when I say welcome to the chop, the title of the stream, right, is I think we're going to see something very similar, right? We look at what happened just now, right? Like, why did I stop shorting the QQQ? I had TQQQ shorts at like right on this candle high, right? We think we're seeing like the exact same thing, where it's not going to be like a year-on-year move, but this initial move, if you notice how the QQQ, right, it extended up, and on the way down, it came down and like rejected the 1.2 and 1.4, and now we're seeing the same thing unfold. I'm going to go to 720 here, right? We're seeing pretty much the same type of move, right? So hypothetically, I'm being asked a lot about tech stocks like AMD, Nvidia, and stuff, so we could see a run back up to previous highs, but I don't think it's going to be smooth sailing from there, right? And that's kind of why I'm saying welcome to the chop, and it's going to be a volatile year. But that's all fine and dandy if we can get in on the right positioning for these moves, right? And so far on the QQQ, we did pretty good. Short down, right? Long, short, long. So we'll see how the rest of the day unfolds. Rest of the week unfolds. We got today and tomorrow before the weekend. Anyway, fam, thank you all for tuning into the stream. Once again, hop in our Discord, smash that like button, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys in Discord.